What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. And yes, we are broadcasting to the world live from Phoenix, Arizona. Sunny Phoenix, Arizona. Today is Friday, February 28th. It's about 8:30 a.m. here in Arizona. Welcome in. Now, coffee talk is just basically the time where I enjoy my coffee and I read the news, whether it's breaking or if I'm following up. And also, we will take a look at anything that you guys are kind of interested in at the moment or anything that you think is worthwhile. Welcome in, Ziggy. Good morning. Happy Friday to you. Some of the breaking news headlines involve Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know if there's any clear information about that. You have the suspicious death of Gene Hackman. So we'll definitely talk about that this morning. I wish I had an update on the Shaylee Snyder case. There is new information. We'll read a quick article on that, and then we can really talk about anything else that you guys want to discuss. And when my coffee's gone, I'm gone. But I have about 2 cups worth of coffee, and I'm just getting started on one. How's everybody doing this fine Friday morning? What's in your cup? What is in your coffee cup? Mine is the Starbucks dark roast, and I'm drinking it black. What's going on, Mustang? Riot, what up? Blind Squirrel says I'm horizontal, but I'm listening. Does that mean that you're sleeping in today? So then you don't have any coffee yet. J Ray, I don't drink coffee anymore, really, but good morning. Why not? I remember I stopped drinking coffee for a little while, but that's because I was having some health issues. Like my blood pressure was all out of whack. And coffee didn't make me, made me feel all tingly in the lips. But now that I have my cholesterol under control, I'm drinking coffee more than ever. But I'm still not, I don't drink espresso anymore. I'm afraid to. I saw an interview with Brian Engine yesterday. Said Ghislaine Maxwell has a behind the scenes deal to get extradited, luxury prison with early release. Hey, if she gives up some really horrible people, I don't think that she should, she deserves to be in prison too for the rest of her life, at least, minimum of 20 years. But if they can get some of these big fish, some of these really horrible men like the Podestas and people like that are out here wreaking havoc. I mean, we have millions of missing children. These people are responsible for a lot of that. They don't have a care in the world. Mustang Blue Gatorade. Illegal. What's up, right field? What's in your cup, right field? Better yet, how do you take your coffee? I don't ever take my coffee the same. I'm weird like that. Blind Squirrel, what's up? Good morning. What's in your cup? There you go. Me and Riot are synced. Simpatico. Hmm. Yeah, it's already afternoon for some of you Midwesterners. Hey, Timmy, community coffee. Are you at work today? Or is it at like your apartment complex or something? No matter where I go, I'm always like, where's your coffee? And then I judge them on their coffee. And when I see people pull out Folgers Instant, I automatically judge them because that's the worst. That's the coffee you take camping for emergencies. It's for staying quiet and not giving them up. Oh, I see what you're saying. See, I'm always wishing for the best. I wonder if that makes me naive. Irish cream. What kind of coffee, though? Do you like dark, medium? Me, my favorite kind of coffees would be Dunkin'. They're medium roast. And Starbucks, dark roast. Dunkin' used to have this. I don't know if they still have it, but it was called Turbo. Ooh, man, that shit would light a fire under your ass. Karen Hicks says, coffee's in my cup. What kind of coffee? How do you take it? I used to be a 2 cream, 2 sugars. Gotcha, Timmy. 10:30ish. Oh yeah, it's almost lunchtime for you guys. Hey, Karen. Good morning, CJK. Karen says, when is the next podcast on Richard Allen? We're going to talk about the Delphi case today. I think we're going to have an open discussion around noon my time. And I really want to do an open panel later on tonight. But Karen, we can talk about anything you want right now if you have any questions. During coffee talk, it's whatever. It's like we're sitting at the local diner and we're just having a talk. Nothing too serious. No rhyme, no reason. Medium roast. Okay. CJK, my coffee is weird today. I added flavored creamers, but it's weak. So I added too much. Yeah, there's nothing worse than when you mess up the coffee. Dark with Irish cream. I could dig it. Heavy on the cream for Karen. Ooh, fancy. Blind squirrel. Cinnamon dolce latte. Look at you. Fancy. The Dunkin' Midnight Roast. I don't think I have. Dunkin's medium roast has the best flavor out of the Dunkin', in my opinion. Please repeat. Your next live is about what? Probably be an open discussion on the Delphi murders. And then I want to do a sleuth crew check-in where we just kind of go over all of the breaking news, all the true crime news. Last time we did that, it was very interesting. The chat was off the hook. Flavored syrup. Karen says, when will all this Richard Allen stuff stop? He's guilty. I think it'll stop. when he clears up what the fuck happened. Oh, thank you, Joe. Here, let me pull this up too. We'll talk about that. The thing is, there's just so many questions about that, Karen. You have the defense team trying to create that doubt. You know, they're creating chaos throughout the case. Then you have the stuff that I'm caught up on, which is the Anthony Shots, Keegan Klein information. To me, that's the information that fits. So it's only going to stop, Karen, when the truth comes out. And I just don't think that Richard Allen is ever going to allow that. There's just a lot of weird things about the Delphi case. For instance, why was Richard Allen traveling from east to west? You know, that's a very unusual way for him to get to the trails. You know, he was coming from the direction of Ron Logan's or coming from the direction of Peru. We know he was coming from Peru, but we know he stopped at his house before he did that. So why did he stop at his house and decide to go back that way and take the back roads? A lot of weird things about that case. I mean, think about it. All we know about the Delphi case is that Richard Allen is the bridge guy. That's it. That's all we know about that tragic story. We know who the bridge guy is. Okay, well, he doesn't have any criminal history. You know, what is motivating this man? Yeah, it just doesn't add up. Everything that we've learned about criminology, victimology, psychology, psychopathy, I mean, none of it adds up. There's more to it. Hey, Jerry, good morning to you. Having a dark roast with my sleuth mug. There you go. Sipping in style. My mug is an old Valentine's mug. It says hugs for you at the top, and then in big writing in the middle it says hugs, and then it has hearts everywhere. I like this coffee mug because it's big. You can fit 2 cups of coffee in it. Almond Joy. Usually when I'm out and about and on the road, taking a road trip, if I have to get gas station coffee, I might throw some Almond Joy in there. Some amaretto. Karen says it will go on and on and on because those people enjoy their own hate and bullshit. Yeah, they really do, guys. It's fucking weird. You know, and they can't get their story straight. And the thing about the Delphi case is that the idea that Richard Allen is responsible for this horrible murder, to those people that support him, it's just too boring. You know, that's boring. Richard Allen, that's boring. The guy that worked at the CVS just went for a hike and just kind of lost his shit and killed 2 girls. That's boring. That's not the way I'm going to tell the story. You know? Put some spirit fingers in there. So that's why they're drawn to the Odinism, conspiracy theories. Like I admit that when I discuss things like Anthony Shots and Keegan Klein, it's confirmation bias for me. You know, I've already come to the conclusion, and I'm trying to make everything else fit. But it is based in reality, and it's based in factual information. You know, I'm not trying to put something there that's not there. I'm just surmising from the facts. Yep, absolutely, CJK. We're actually going to cover that case over the weekend. His mother just did that interview. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about some of the videos that people have been putting out, some of the online drama. Looks like people have been really going after the MOB crew. So it looks like there's some online beef there. But most importantly, yeah, we're going to talk about all those updates. Thanks for bringing that up, CJK. So yeah, you can probably expect something Saturday or Sunday. As soon as I get some decent notes on all the new information, we'll go live. Mustang says, I bet his wife last at the max 2 years when she will move on. I don't know. I really don't know. You know, it must be tough. You marry somebody, you love somebody, and they're telling you that they're innocent. And you have all these professional attorneys and all of these professional people telling you, like, yeah, he's being railroaded. But what people don't realize, and I'm glad that I'm, was able to do this and figure this out. Every individual on this planet has their own motivating factors. We are all motivated by our own internal monologue. You know what I mean? Our own wants, our needs, desires, imperfections, shortcomings, insecurities, overconfidence. We're all motivated by different things. So that means we're going to do different things with the same information. You might have a cop who's going to feel the need to plant evidence on somebody. You're going to have attorneys who feel the need to withhold exculpatory information. Why do they do it? Why are they doing these things? Only they know. Only they know the motivation for that. But that makes things extremely complex, though. Hiawatha, what's up? I'm late, but did you already talk about the FBI in North Carolina giving parents warnings about child trafficking? 2 more were caught yesterday. No. Hold on. Let me pull up this article here. And then I'll pull that up. Okay. Hiawatha, are you able to send me a link on that? I think so, Ziggy. That's where I'm at right now. I mean, all the doctors told us about who Richard Allen is, who he is. And I think we can use that to kind of profile him. His dependent personality disorder is the reason why he's being quiet. I don't think he has fear that anybody's going to come and harm him or his family. I think he never expected to be free as long as he was. He's like, I came forward. I definitely expected to get busted. I didn't want to come forward. My wife made me come forward. She knew I was there. If I didn't come forward, then I'm definitely getting arrested. So he thought it was probably over. For the first year, every time somebody knocked on his door, he probably thought, this is it. This is it. And then year 2 goes by, nothing. Year 3, nothing. Then you have another new presser on 2019 where they're talking about a younger sketch. He's like, oh, good. Now my wife will definitely believe me. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, let me pull this up. And Riot, I have that video queued up too that you sent me. I appreciate that, Hiawatha. The morning blend. Right field. How come the pick? What about it? The pick on the screen? James Gandolfini? Just a fan of The Sopranos and him as an actor. Coffee talks are very random. Yeah, blind. I think he's done 2. He's not going to say anything. He's a company man. Hiawatha says confirmation bias does not equal facts. No, it can. It can equal facts. Like, for instance, Kagan Klein confessed to being involved in the murders. That is a fact. But is there a connection between him and Richard Allen? Not that I know of. But because of those types of facts, I've already established in my mind, hey, there is a connection. Now I got to fill in the blanks, and that's the confirmation bias part. Sparky, how was didn't you go watch a comedian? How was it? I'm a cheap date. You sounds like you might be hungover then. What you need is something very greasy, a shit ton of water, and some ibuprofen. You'll be good. Yeah, thanks for sending that. I appreciate that. Hey, Jinx is in the building. What up? Oh, you like that? Little spirit fingers? It's too boring, guys. We got to spice it up. What if Richard Allen is in a cult? Right. He's tied in with Odinism. You guys, you staying with me? Spirit fingers. Just needs a little glitter. J Ray says, I'm not a fan of the murder sheet. I think I am. I think I'm a fan of theirs. I don't agree with them all the time, but I mean, they've been pretty right. They've done some good journalism. They do get a little dramified from time to time, but it's all. Coffee Talk with Linda Richmond. Miranda knows what's up. Welcome in, Miranda. Rachel Smith, hello. Do you think Richard Allen did it alone? No, I don't. I don't think he did it alone. Was he the bridge guy? Absolutely. That was proven in court. And that makes him a murderer. Could he have done it alone? Absolutely. 100%. That's just not the way it's not the way I feel about it. Could I be wrong? I most likely am wrong. That's the thing, guys. That's why I try to tell you, like, a lot of it's just confirmation bias. It's based mainly on my intuition. And my gut doesn't let me down. That's all I know. I've had really good friends stab me in the back, and I saw it coming. Oh yeah, Jamie. See, I don't know who Jamie Lizzo is. Lizzo. God, I'm illiterate. I got my picture with him. We went and saw Joe Maki a few weeks ago. Both are on Gutfield. Oh, okay. I like Gutfield. All right. I guess we won't need to pull up that article. Moranis's murder sheet is excellent. They've done some excellent coverage of various trials and cases. They're both bright individuals. Linda's looking. You have to be kidding me. After everything coming out. What do you mean, Linda? What's coming out? A lot of people think because they go down some kind of strange rabbit hole that there's something there, right? Just because you've gone on some weird trip down a rabbit hole doesn't mean the rest of us are going to entertain that. So you have to be more specific about what you're referring to. Yeah, I don't understand the issue with the murder sheet. I mean, what did they do that was so wrong? I remember a lot of people had issues with them because they released the Kagan Klein transcript against Becky Patty's wishes. And yeah, that was upsetting. But that's what it is to be a journalist, you know. They weren't spreading propaganda or hate. They were spreading real information that we're still talking about to this day. So I don't understand all the hatred. But if you don't like them, whatever. You know, ain't got nothing to do with me. That's just my opinion. And remember, we did a live stream why people get angry with us when they disagree. Should go watch it. What's up, Dan? Hey, sorry I couldn't join you last night. The wife was giving me the bedroom eyes. Jerry says that might be true. I'm just not a fan of theirs. Yeah, and not everybody likes them. You know, each to their own. Jerry says I just kind of feel like they're a puppet for the prosecution. I didn't say I hate them. I don't know about a puppet, but I think they definitely lean that way. And I don't think it's leaning towards the prosecution. I think it's just leaning towards reality. You know what I mean? Must be nice to be able to see the truth so clearly for some, you know? For me, it's not my style to accept things that are just on the surface. I just can't do it. Because I believe that's how I think criminals exploit that in people. They expect you to only go one or two layers deep, but really they're hiding in that third, fourth, fifth layer. I mean, take Brian Koberger, for instance. If he didn't drop that knife sheath, he's a free man. You know, he made one mistake. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate that. If you do, get it on film. Then I can play some Betty Hill behind it. Some Benny Hill. Rachel says, "Can you take a look at the attachment I sent? Just wanted you though on it. Thanks." What attachment? I didn't get anything. Yeah, that'll do it. Welcome in, Typo. All right, let's go to the Gene Hackman situation.
Police in New Mexico say the circumstances surrounding the deaths of Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, appear, quote, suspicious enough to warrant an investigation. The couple was found dead Wednesday in their home just outside Santa Fe. One of their dogs was also found dead. Deputies responded after a maintenance worker found the door of the home open and called 911.
I think we just found one deceased person inside the house.
Are they moving at all?
No, dude, they're not moving. Just send somebody out here really quick.
CBS News correspondent Tom Hansen is following this for us from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Tom, thanks for joining us. First off, why are police calling the deaths suspicious in nature?
Well, because the circumstances, Michael, are suspicious. There are a lot of unanswered questions here. And what we have to do is we have to look at some of the reports that have been issued, including the preliminary autopsy, which found no evidence of external trauma.
So what the hell is going on with the Gene Hackman case? Because I was hearing one report earlier or last night where they were trying to make it seem as if he might have been responsible for this. And then I saw another report where they were creating a narrative where the wife might have done this and then taken her own life. So I don't understand what the hell is going on here. No gas leak.
But police say their deaths are suspicious enough, Gene and Betsy, their deaths are suspicious enough that they are going to continue investigating. You know, looking at the affidavit here, that paints perhaps the clearest picture of the events that unfolded throughout the day when both bodies were discovered. Officers entered the home, as you mentioned, with the door ajar. They found Betsy first. They found her in the bathroom, her head next to a space heater, pills scattered across the countertop. And then they found Gene in another room, also dead, and including.
See, with the pills and all that, it almost seems like a murder-suicide, right? Like the wife drugged him. He died. She drugs herself. But why would the dog be dead? I mean, is he going to eat the pills off the counter? Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand why the dog is dead. Did she poison the dog too? You think that's something that's possible? I don't know. Something's not quite right.
A dog as well, but two other dogs were found alive. Now, what they have noticed in their investigation so far is that
J-Ray says carbon monoxide poisoning. I heard nope. Absolutely not. That was my first thought. I was like, okay, all three are dead, even the dog. Boom, that's a telltale sign of some type of gas leak. There's something going on here where they all went to sleep, and of course there's some type of slow leak, carbon monoxide, and they just don't wake up. But we're going to hear from the lead investigators here after this, and they're going to kind of talk about the carbon monoxide and how they've pretty much ruled that out. Not completely, but they didn't find any signs. They have tools that they use to detect carbon monoxide and things like that, and they weren't picking up any of that. It could have been cleared out by then, I'm assuming, right?
That, for instance, details like both of them were in sweatpants. They noticed that they were in relaxed clothing, that this is believed to have happened somewhat abruptly, but there's no evidence to suggest that there was a carbon monoxide leak, for instance, or a gas leak. So there are a lot of unanswered questions here, and we're going to be looking very closely for a more thorough autopsy to come out in order to determine a cause of death.
Curious Contrarian says distraction from the Epstein stuff. Could be. When this first happened, I thought, damn, maybe Gene Hackman was going to be in some of these documents. So he took his own life, and it was kind of like a murder-suicide situation. It's funny that you said that. But now I'm not quite sure what the hell's going on. I mean, they got their hands full with this one.
Here, Michael.
What are we hearing from the Hackman family?
Yeah, well, they've come out with a statement, and I think we can put it up on the screen here just to show. They say that they are devastated by the loss. The children released the statement saying, "It is with great sadness that we announce the passing of our father, Gene Hackman, and his wife, Betsy. He was..."
Okay. Typo. That makes a lot of sense. What if she was his caretaker and she passed out? But what about the dog? I can see that. That's a good theory. So she just takes her own life, and that just kind of has a domino effect. She's not there to care for him, so now he passes. And the dog was just something very random. Maybe he got into the pills too. I don't know. It's the dog, it's the dog.
Loved and admired by millions around the world for his brilliant acting career, but to us, he was always just dad and grandpa. We will miss him sorely and are devastated by the loss. Now, I should also mention...
oh, that's sad. I didn't know there was 2 dogs there. They must have barely been hanging on. They must have been skin and bones. Yikes. So were these dogs separate from the house? They were in a cage away from the home, or what's going on with these other dogs?
That longtime friend, a former colleague, Clint Eastwood, also came out, and I'm paraphrasing here, but essentially said that there were very few actors that were better than Gene Hackman, and that he is one of the great actors of the 20th century, Michael.
All right, so many unanswered questions. Tom Hansen, thanks for joining us.
Okay, 8 pills, no food or water for 2 weeks, toilet lid closed. Okay. So that makes sense. But why did the dogs on the outs that were outside or caged up live? Maybe they weren't as spoiled or didn't touch the pills? Dog was in a closet. Oh, shit. Let's hear from some of these investigators.
And joining us now, Santa Fe County Sheriff Adon Mendoza, who's leading this investigation, along with Santa Fe's Fire Chief Brian Moya, whose team was the first to arrive at Hackman's home. Good morning to both of you. Sheriff,
yeah, I think you're right, Carla.
Do you have any more insight this morning on what may have led to these deaths?
Right now, we don't. Of course, we executed the search warrant yesterday, starting on the evening of the 26th, all into yesterday.
That you guys saying that the dog probably starved, that makes a whole lot of sense, especially with the toilet seat down. You can live longer without food, but without water, like, you're pretty much screwed. I think it's called the rule of 3. You can last 3 hours without shelter. You can last 3 days without water, and you can last 3 weeks without food. So that's why when you're in a survival situation, first thing you always do is get your fire and your shelter going. Because if not, you only have 3 hours, right? Once you have that, your next mission is water. Once you find your water, then you go for the food. Jinx says, Coach Kev gave me a good explanation. Let me get that real quick. Yeah, because it's not making sense to me. I haven't gone through the probable cause or anything like that. I know Turbo put out a video, and I should have watched it. I just got really busy last night. Shout out to Turbo.
Afternoon, and one of our investigators attended the autopsy yesterday. We don't have more information. We're trying to.
Davey Breedlove. Coming in with the dad joke. Oh, I'm a flatulent mofo. I feel bad for my wife. She still loves me, though. I was flatulent before we got married. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
Put things together, put together a timeline when the decedents were last seen or spoken to.
Desert, I think you're right.
That is a challenge because they were very private individuals in a private family. So we're trying to put all that information together right now.
The officers did conclude that the two had been deceased for some time. Any sense of the timeline? I mean, are we talking days? Are we talking weeks?
Yeah, so it's very difficult to put a timeline together, even with the help of the Office of the Medical Investigator, just based on their body and other evidence on the body. It appears several days, possibly even up to a couple of weeks.
Any insight in terms of the two of them? Did it appear
Welcome
that
in,
they
Renegade.
had passed at the same time, or had one passed before the other?
I think that's very difficult to determine. I think it's going to be pretty close. There was no indication that anybody was moving about the house or doing anything different. So it's very hard to determine if they both passed at the same time or how close they passed together. We're trying to put that information together, and obviously with the assistance of the Office of the Medical Investigator. And I think the autopsy report is going to be key to this investigation.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right, Charles.
The fire chief here. Is carbon monoxide poisoning or a gas leak, has that been ruled out definitively, or is that still a potential cause here?
Yeah, good morning.
And don't forget, the coroner is going to need 4 to 6 weeks to determine what actually happened.
At the time of the incident, we did not determine anything that was in the house with our meters that was concerning towards our guys doing the searches. So at the time of the incident, we did not find anything in the home at the time.
But there had been some time that had passed, it appears, from when they passed to when they were found. Does that complicate the question at all in terms of, if there had been some kind of leak, would it have dissipated perchance?
It possibly could. That was a home with natural gas in it, so it could have. There's a lot of unanswers there. When we arrived, we made sure that our people, as well as the sheriff, were safe, and there was nothing when we found. We also went back again yesterday to do another round of searches with the.
Ooh, that's interesting, Dan. Try to make it look like some kind of a murder-suicide, but really family members looking to cash in on Gene's Grammy money.
Sheriff Department, and we didn't find anything as well.
Well, I understand that this was a very large property. Can you give us a little more on the layout and
Thanks, CJ.
Were the bodies close proximity to each other or far apart?
So when my paramedics arrived, we found one of the deceased bodies in the.
Yeah, Davey, I was just kind of throwing that out there. It's just something that popped in my mind at the time. It's like, this kind of looks suspicious.
In the living room area. I'm sorry.
Just the timing.
One of the areas of the house, and the other one was a little farther apart. Yes, it was a very large home. It took a while for all of us to locate.
Sheriff, let me get back to you. The front door says open and not secure. That was in the search warrant affidavit. So was it just unlocked, or was it ajar, wide open?
Well, the information that I gathered from the investigators was there were several doors that were unlocked at the residence. I believe the front door was closed, but unlocked, unsecured. There was one door that was ajar, and that was towards the rear of the residence. That two of the dogs that survived were coming in and out of the residence. So, there's a little bit of.
Oh, so maybe the dogs opened the door. The dogs could have opened the back door. So it says the two dogs were loose. Maybe that's how they survived. They were able to get out and go find water and food.
Conflicting stories, and based on emergency response and things, we're not sure if that door was open upon the arrival of emergency personnel, or if that if it was open upon entry of emergency personnel. So that's another question and something that we just need to answer.
Sheriff, another fact is that was in the affidavit is that there was an opened prescription bottle, potentially with pills splayed out. I understand medical privacy. You're not at liberty to say what that prescription was, but let me just get at it a different way. Do you believe it may be possible that that prescription could be related in any way to the deaths that we've seen here?
Okay, see, now it's making sense. So the dogs that lived were running loose, and the dog that died was confined in a closet in a crate. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense. So he basically starved. The other two animals were able to kind of wander around and scavenge for food.
That's obviously very important evidence at the scene. That information was collected. That information was passed to the Office of the Medical.
And also, dogs can open doors. I mean, the pit bull that we had that passed away last year, Rufus, this motherfucker ate through our garage door. So we went camping for 3 days, came back, and this dude was just hanging out in the garage. He had eaten through the wall. I mean, he used to chew on metal. I would have to put habanero sauce on our gate to keep him from trying to chew through it. We're talking metal here. And then our other dog, she jumps up and she tries to grab the handle on the door. She's gotten into the garage that way. So yeah, dogs can open doors, especially if they're extremely hungry.
Investigator to help them make a determination. So yes, that we're looking at that specifically, and other medications, of course, that were in the possibly in the residence. So that is something of concern.
Yeah, and the toxicology report, which will look at that, that is when.
Riot says both of their remains were mummified. That usually happens, I think, because of air control. So they must have just maybe had the AC running the entire time, and their body didn't decompose very quickly, maybe.
What's the timeline on that? I assume that will help answer some of these questions.
Based on my experience, a toxicology report could take some time. It could take up to 3 months, or even possibly longer. It just depends,
Let's go here to Jinx. This is here, let me read this here. Hackman had a cardiac. So this is Coach Kev's theory. Hackman had a cardiac event. She went for her pills, but the dog in the closet, because it was freaking out. And that's his prediction. How did she die, though? I think it would make more sense if she had a cardiac event. He stayed in bed, didn't get any of his medication, so he passed away, or didn't get his oxygen or whatever he needed. And the dog was just locked in the crate. I don't understand why they don't come out and just explain this shit from the beginning. Like, okay, we found a dog, and I blame this on mainstream media. This is that clickbait bullshit. The real headline should have been Gene Hackman passed away, suspicious death, dog starved to death, locked in the kennel, right? That should have been released in all the early information that came out. Instead, it's like, try to make it seem like some kind of a triple homicide, right? Thanks, Renegade. I appreciate that.
How busy the laboratory is.
Oh, they love grass.
But, we're hoping it comes sooner than later, so we can answer some of these questions, and hopefully it'll help us in our investigation to determine
absolutely
determine the manner and cause of death.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line, is there a working theory here? Are you still confident there's
Makes
no
sense,
foul
Jinx.
play? I mean, what's your sense of what may have happened?
Good question.
I think I'm pretty confident that there is no foul play, just based on the lack of evidence of foul play. But we, of course, we're not ruling that out. Again, I think the autopsy results, the official results, are going to help us steer us in the right direction. That could change, obviously, and we're not ruling that out. This is an open investigation. It's a couple days old,
Yep, Timmy.
and so we're putting together the timeline. We're trying to figure out all the evidence, and the autopsy is key, and that is going to take some time. So I hope
Charles,
a little bit of patience on the family's part, on everybody's part, so we can have some answers into these deaths.
Yeah, and really quick to Chief Moya, it was your paramedics who were first on the scene there. Is it still your belief, there was some wording in this search warrant affidavit that it looked as though the two may have just fallen? Is that still your belief?
Yeah, when we arrived on scene, my paramedics did do an evaluation, and it was obvious. We didn't do any life-saving measures. So at the time, we didn't really need to get any closer due to the fact that it was an obvious sign of death.
Sheriff Mendoza, Chief Moya, I think.
Crazy. I mean, the family must be going through hell right now. There's nothing worse than the unknown, in my opinion. Nothing worse. Yeah, maybe, Rachel. I was kind of thinking that too. I mean, how do you tie it all together? So we can forget about the dog. Like, the dog is not a clue. The dog was in the kennel and it starved to death. I mean, I think we can surmise that, right? Now that that's cleared up, it doesn't seem that suspicious to me. But now we're stuck here. 2 folks are dead, and there's pills apparently kind of spilled all over the place on a countertop. That's got to be some kind of a clue, right? Yeah, maybe, Sensei. And honestly, Charles is right. They could eat grass. They could, they can find water anywhere. Sprinklers come on. They got water. For 2 weeks, they could definitely survive. I'm only 45 minutes away, and it's been all over the news since they found them. Yeah, I mean, I was shocked. Unforgiven is like one of my top 5 movies. I love that movie. That's one of those movies I can just watch over and over and over. To me, it's the original Breaking Bad. It should be called Breaking Bad again. Put a rock on their hand. They begin to toot like it's a brass band. Always have one queued up. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for on the Shaylee Snyder case. Yeah, it's a good theory. Yeah, exactly, Miranda. Let's not answer any of these great questions. I mean, she asked all her questions were perfect. Their answers were not the best. Oh, yeah, the back door is open, but we don't know, who did that. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You just got a call that there's 2 dead bodies laying on the ground. You don't know who opened the back door? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Was this amateur hour? Cheeks, what up? Yeah, something's not quite right here. So 4 to 6 weeks, I think we'll know exactly what happened. Yeah, he was old. So I don't know. Maybe he passed away. She couldn't handle it. Used the pills, took her own life, and then the dog just happened to starve. So if I had to guess, Gene died of natural causes. His wife couldn't bear it. She took her own life. That's my theory. Because they were very close. Thank you, Sparky. Yeah, if you guys feel feeling froggy and you want to send some loot my way, there you go. Cash App, Venmo. Shout out to the person who sent me $5 yesterday. You know who you are. That shit helps more than you guys think. That's nice, Carla. Me and my mom don't have the best relationship. And I talk to my dad often, but not every day. He came over the other day. It's always good to see him. Yes, dogs can open doors using the handle even. Yep, absolutely. Some will just make a hole through the door. Desert Lover says, I have a lever door handles and my male dog can open them. Now, if he would just learn to close them. Well, it's because he was born in a barn or an elevator. There you go, Rachel. Timmy Rufus was not a handful. He was sweet. He didn't do anything. He was lazy. He was lazy and was a love dog. You would walk over to him and he'd roll over on his belly and kind of show you his belly and be like, pet me, pet me, pet me, pet me. And when you came home, he did like this weird little shuffle, like this pitter patter on the ground. It was cute. I miss him a lot. He would get so excited, he would do like a little tap dance. Oh, it was funny. But man, you just could not contain him. There's some dogs that just refuse to be contained. Like you can put them in a kennel and somehow they fucking break out. Okay, let's take a look at this video that Riot sent me. This was from Brian Enton from News Nation. I'm a big fan of Brian. I like his aggressive approach with the Idaho college murders. He's doing great work. Big fan of Brian Enton. Let's watch this video. Looks like it's about 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Let me read the headline here. It says, Jeffrey Epstein associate Christina Oxenberg tells me his plane had recording devices and Ghislaine told her, we have everyone on tape. She says Ghislaine is alive because of a secret deal to stay quiet. She believes 100% Ghislaine will go to the UK and sell out a back door. Wow. So she's about to get off the hook for her silence.
Who they are. Well, do you think we'll ever find out the names? And do you have any idea who they are?
Well, I think we know the names. I think the names have been bandied around from the beginning. I don't know that it's necessary for me to actually say them. We do know we know.
Yeah,
who
there
they
you
are.
go,
They are
Dan.
Former presidents. They are a very mouthy lawyer who lives in Boston. There, we know the names. They're on the flight logs. They're in the little black book. They're the ones who've been surrounding this whole story for. We know who they are. However, are they more responsible than Ghislaine? This gets very gray area,
It's Ghislaine.
I am not a victim, so I'm going to see things differently.
But even if they're not more responsible, if they were still a participant at times with some of these girls, shouldn't their names be made public?
Okay, well, the answer, of course, is yes to everything. Of course, everything should be public. Everything should be transparent, and all bad people should be punished. I'm all for it. This is, sex rings have gone on forever. This is not new. It's nothing to do with privilege and money. It's happened in every iteration. It's happened through all the years humans have been on the planet, probably. And this particular group was to satisfy Jeffrey's proclivity for underage girls. And that's the problem.
Great movie.
With the whole thing. If Jeffrey had just wanted beautiful young ladies, there's no problem. But he liked children. And so that.
Let's go here to Davey, because I think he might be right. It says either wife gave Jean the pills and then she took them, or she took them, died, and he was unable to care for himself and died. Yes, and you wonder, why is he on the ground? Maybe he rolled out of bed and was kind of crawling somewhat. But yeah, I mean, that's a good theory. Because you have to ask yourself, if he died, you think he would have just been in his bed, passed away, in his sleep. Why is he on the ground? But if she died first, he may have tried to get to her or get out of bed and see what the hell was going on.
That's the conundrum. And when you talk about the other men who were involved, and obviously we know their names. I've read the flight logs. I'm sure you have too. Now, since 1993, I knew that she and Jeffrey used a private plane, because that was another instance where I spent 3 months with them, if you can believe it.
Yep, Cheeks, I think you're right.
And they were on the plane every weekend. So I knew about the plane. And in 97.
So I think that might be right. She may, she was up there in age too, in your 60s, you might have to worry about heart attacks and things like that. So she could have died first. He then was trying to figure out what's going on, crawls out of bed, falls. He could have broken his hip.
In this crazy meeting, she says to me, sorry, my tenses are always wrong. She says to me,
yep, Cheeks.
The plane is hooked up with audio and video. And we have everyone on tape.
Hey, Cindy, good to see you. I agree with that. I think that if this was a self-harm situation, I think that she would have let the dog out. This seems like an emergency situation where the person who was supposed to be caring for the elderly man in the home, which was Jean, something bad happened to her. And that's what caused Jean to pass away. I think it's likely that he went to check on her, broke his hip. Or maybe the dog is in the kennel because the dog knocks over Jean, he breaks his hip, But I think the only theory that actually works is her passing away first. And for whatever reason, without the care that she was providing to Jean, he's unable to care for himself, and he then expires.
Her words. I'm not asking a thing. Why is she eliciting things that in years to come would be massively incriminating? So no, I didn't think to ask, well, who do you mean by everyone? When she said we have everyone on tape, I figured she meant anyone
Yeah, Cindy. And usually people that do take their own lives, they're very courteous about things like that. You know, they'll clean up the house, they'll fold all their laundry, they'll make sure there's not a mess, they'll leave a little note, and then they'll go do the deed. They're definitely not going to, they think about all those things first. From what I've noticed, from the cases I've covered, I just don't see her leaving the dog in the kennel. So, yeah, I think that this was not a self-harm situation. I think for whatever reason, she was having a medical emergency, wasn't able to get her medication or whatever. Therefore, she expires. And Gene coming to check on her is kind of falling out of bed, maybe breaks his hip or something like that. And he can't, because it looked like he struggled with, he couldn't walk on his own. All of the most recent photographs, he's got his arm on his wife and she's assisting him. So I think he may have broken his hip and was unable to move and may have died of a heart attack or something like that on the ground as well.
And who wouldn't want to be on tape.
Where do you think all those tapes are now?
I think for one thing, there's
Ooh, we got the big bicep flex. Cheeks theory. Wife had a medical emergency, was trying to take pills to fix it. Gene tried to get out of bed, was too frail, died of natural causes. I think that's it. That's the winner right there. I mean, because they don't know why the back door was open. They didn't see any signs of like an intruder or that they were attacked with a weapon. To me, that explains everything. Why the dog was still in the kennel, why there's pills kind of thrown around, and why they're both on the floor. That is the explanation that covers all of those. So I think you hit it on the head, Cheeks.
in more than one copy of anything. I think that since those were the days of videotapes, it's 97, they must have also been updated in all of the techno, changes that have happened, right? So those would have been done, and there's definitely more than one. There would obviously have been more than one copy, and she said it. Her clear and
let's go to CJK's comment. Being listed in the address book isn't proof of indecent or illicit acts, but I did read what took place on the plane was vile and involved minors. Yeah, so there's flight logs that matter and there's flight logs that don't, right? Flight logs from Florida to New York or, within the states, I'm sure that's fairly common. But I think what needs to be looked at is people who were flying to Jeffrey Epstein's private island. Who's on those flight logs? Who's on the secret recordings? Because a lot of people like to bring up Donald Trump. People are like, they put on their blinders. Not Donald Trump. He's on the list. Well, yeah, he's on a flight list. And that's it. He's on a flight list. He's already has history of him kicking him out of his establishments and things like that. So the question is, people that are on your basic flight logs, I don't think there's anything of concern there. Now, if you're on the flight log to these private islands, I think that's a different story.
Intention was, we have the upper hand. We have the compromise.
Now that she's been sentenced and she's on her way to permanent stay in federal prison for 20.
Rachel says, I hope I'm not a bother. I would really like to hear your thoughts from the pictures I attached to the chat. I don't think you can do that, Rachel. They're not. It may seem as if you're adding it to the chat on your end, but I don't think YouTube is pushing that through. Because I know it's only me and the moderators who can post links. I don't think people can just post a link in the chat. I don't think they're able to. So it might look like you're adding it to the chat on your computer or your phone, but on our end, I'm not seeing any of that.
20 years. Do you think she's going to start naming names? Do you think she's going to tell people where those tapes are? Do you think she's going to come clean about this stuff?
I think all the deals have already been made. I don't know anything. This is just my.
Okay. Hiawatha says he was by the back door and she was in the bathroom, I heard somewhere. Maybe the dog knocked him down. She puts him in the kennel. Like, you damn dog. Goes to get his medication. Yeah, see, that just doesn't work. The only scenario that works is she passed away first. She had a medical emergency.
My hunch. I think the deals have been made already, and that's why she's alive.
But then again, why is he by the back door?
Because Jeffrey died on August 10th in the morning. But on August 9th, which was a Friday, his lawyer came out on the steps of the courthouse, I suppose, and said,
Oh, we got a super chat from Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. Very generous of you. Don't forget to support Sleuth. Like, subscribe. Please leave comments after the show. Thank you for that. Ziggy, flexing the bicep. I found out about the FBI North Carolina regarding the trafficking of children. Yeah, we'll get into that right after this.
Jeffrey's going to start naming names. And he was dead in the morning.
I mean, crazy. Do you think she's at risk right now? Do you think her safety?
No, I don't, because, I mean, she may want to self-harm. That I cannot speak for. But
Charles.
No, I think the deals have already been made, and she is being rewarded already. Of the 20 years that you mentioned for her sentence, already two
absolutely,
have
Cheeks.
been taken off because of time served. So we're now down to, it's being whittled down. Also, she's going to be transferred to the UK to complete.
You think that will really happen?
100%, I think that. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat all sorts of hats. But I do believe that will happen, and that once she's there, she'll just sail out the back door.
Christine, I mean, you say this stuff in my job.
Dang. That's crazy. So Ghislaine Maxwell is going to just sail off into the sunset for keeping her mouth shut. What's up, Beth? How you doing today? Happy Friday. What are you guys drinking? What's in your coffee? What's in your cup? And if it's Folgers instant coffee, don't even tell me. I don't want to hear about it. You can keep that to yourself. She sees him, has a heart attack herself, tries to take her pills, but goes into full heart attack mode. She passes. Yeah, I think that's going to be what happened. The art of deduction. Some good deducing. Yep, exactly, Timmy. A lot of flights inside the U.S. were just normal things. I mean, they should be looked at. But I think the suspicious flight logs should be those individuals going to the private island. Because I guarantee you there's some sick shit going on there. Rachel, my email address is sleuthintuition@gmail.com. So if you're having any problems with the link, just send it there. That's what everybody else has been doing. All these stories that we're pulling up right now, I'm just grabbing them from my email from people in the chat. Yeah, I don't think so either. We're just trying to put it together with the information that we have. I mean, why are they both near the back door? Why is one dog in a crate? So I'm wondering, maybe the dog knocks over Gene. He breaks his hip. She's all flustered, trying to get the dog into the kennel, throws him in there, and she starts to have a heart attack. She's like, oh shit, I'm having a heart attack. Runs to the bathroom, grabs her pills, takes them, and she kind of knocks them all over the place and passes away right then and there. And then Gene, he just kind of sits there suffering for a while. What's up, Frank? The Kung Flu. The Kung Flu. What's up, Cyber Warrior? Okay, let's take a look at this at some of this breaking news out of North Carolina. FBI issues stern warning for parents after North Carolina teen found day after Amber Alert issued. Let's take a listen.
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, it's very quiet.
Pretty much know why we're here. First of all, let's start out with this. I want to thank our Lord.
Can you guys hear that?
For helping us return this girl safely to her family and the protection that he gave for all the agents that were involved in this apprehension of the suspects. So I just want to get that behind us because I think that's very important for why we're here today, or part of the reason why we're here. Joining me today, I got a few folks up here. SBI Director, Mr. Chip Hawley.
Yeah, I don't know if I can turn it up.
The FBI, Mr. Philip Van Weingarter. I got that correct.
And it could be just this guy. He might be like really soft spoken.
Of the sheriff's office that have worked around the clock on this, as well as the other agencies.
So why do so many homes in Pinal?
Damn commercial. Yeah, I don't know if this one's gonna work.
Operation like this, how we get things accomplished is how we all come together to make this happen. So it's a blessing for any sheriff or chief of police to have this kind of support to help us, because we can't do it by ourselves, and the results of what happened are because of these folks and the people that work for them. I'm gonna start this out. The missing juvenile was located early this morning in Dare County, North Carolina, by agents with the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, Kitty Hawk Police Department, Dare County Sheriff's Office, and Currituck County Sheriff's Office. The Virginia Beach Police Department assisted in the investigation. The juvenile appeared not to have any injuries, but was transported to a local hospital for evaluation. The locating of the juvenile was the result of an extensive investigation by the above agencies. Each of the participating agencies worked together, utilizing their own but cohesive use of law enforcement tools to further the investigative process. Key avenues to success this case relied upon court-approved methods for serial analysis and social media review to locate the missing juvenile and the suspects. As you may know, we have arrested two of the suspects. First was Elihu Martin Mahler, age 31, black male from Virginia Beach, Virginia. He was charged with human trafficking, child victim, felony kidnapping, felony conspiracy to kidnap, and felony conspiracy human trafficking. Also arrested was Austin Lee Cole, age 23, white male of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. His charges were human trafficking, child victim, felony kidnapping, felony conspiracy to kidnap, and felony conspiracy human trafficking. Also, ask for your privacy for the family. Now, I do have a message from the mother, speaking with her. You know, obviously she's very elated that her daughter is being returned back this afternoon. And she wanted to thank all the agencies that were involved with this. But at this time, I think all of you can appreciate that she wants her privacy and her family right now. And so
Thanks,
I
Rob.
ask that you honor that. Obviously, I can't make you do it, but just think about if that was your daughter. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, this guy is so quiet. It's driving me crazy.
Also, one I failed to answer is some of the agents here at the sheriff's office. You know, I've been up here for the last 2 days, and
Let's go ahead and
this went
skip
on all night
over
long.
here.
Played a role in bringing this investigation to a successful completion. It is a testament to the hard work and dedication of each detective, officer, and agent that we're standing here today reporting a positive outcome for this family. The first appearance for these defendants should occur tomorrow in Harnett County District Court. Pursuant to statute, bond has not yet been set. Bond will be considered and may be set by the judge tomorrow during the first appearance.
Mustang, yes, I have a members only Discord. And if you are interested in joining, because you are a longtime member, just shoot me an email and I'll send you a personalized link.
As this case moves through the court system, my office remains committed to seeking justice for all involved parties. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for the Venmo, guys.
At this time, we'll open
You guys are
up
sweet.
some Q&A. It may be I step back on the ones that are involved that were involved with apprehension. So with that being said,
check this out. I'm going to show you.
I don't know, guys. This video might be too it might be too quiet. We'll have to come back to this. I mean, if I can't even hear it in my headphones, I don't know if you guys can even hear it. I'll have to record it and then we'll play it on at another time, maybe later today. Okay, so I just wanted to read a quick article before we get out of here on Shaylee Snyder's case. The Indy Star did put in a few more pieces of information that might be helpful. Okay, so this article is titled IMPD. I'm sure that's Indianapolis Metro Police Department. Defends response in case of missing 15-year-old girl later found dead. So Shaylee Snyder, her parents said that after she reported her missing, or basically reported her as a runaway, she told law enforcement, hey, like she was doing something online. She's doing something online. She may be with an adult. But they still just treated it like your typical runaway case. So 2 days go by. She meets with law enforcement, gives them more information like, hey, we think that she may have been kidnapped or with an adult. Still nothing. A few days later, she's found dead near railroad tracks. This is IMPD defending their response. Looks like the article was written by Noe Padilla and Ryan Murphy from the Indianapolis Star. Okay, day after the news broke regarding the disappearance and death of Shaylee Snyder, a 15-year-old girl who was reported missing 2 weeks earlier, Indianapolis police provided new information attempting to clarify how they handled the case. Several family members have criticized police, saying they dismissed concerns because she was labeled a runaway. In an email Wednesday, IMPD said that when detectives met with the family February 12th, investigators did not gather any information that indicated Snyder was in immediate danger or had any known medical conditions. However, Snyder's mother told Indy Star that the family informed police that she had been dealing with mental illness issues and that there was a possibility that she was with an adult man at the time of her disappearance. And that adult man is probably the person who took her life. According to police records, Snyder's mother reported her daughter as a runaway to police about 2 p.m. on February 10th. She told police that she had last seen Snyder in the Beech Grove area that morning. The case was assigned to an IMPD detective on February the 11th. It wasn't until February 12th, 2 days after her disappearance, that detectives met with the girl's family. An IMPD spokesperson told Indy Star. Snyder's family believes the information they provided at the meeting should have made the teen's case a priority. The girl left home without her cell phone or any form of technology that could be used to track her location. The next time police spoke with Snyder's family was just after midnight on Tuesday, according to Snyder's mother. They had come to deliver the horrific news. The girl's body had been found. At about 2 p.m. Saturday, police were called to the 1800 block of Sigsbee Road on a report of a body found near railroad tracks on the isolated stretch of road. While investigating the area, detectives found a torched, black Chevy nearby. Snyder was formally identified by the Marion County Coroner's Office on Tuesday, but the coroner was not immediately able to determine a manner or cause of death. And once again, it's going to take 4 to 6 weeks, for them to make a determination. Anyone with information about Snyder's disappearance or death should call Detective Shem Ragsdale at the IMPD Homicide Office at 317-327-3475 or email the detective at shem.ragsdale, Ragsdale, at indy.gov. And I'm going to give him a call later today. I already have his number saved. But if you would like to remain anonymous, call the Crime Stoppers, 800-222-TIPS. You don't even have to give your name. Just drop your information and go about your business and know that you did something great. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even hear it. Running away or not, a missing child or young adult should never be dismissed, in my opinion, ever. Because you got to wonder, why are they running away? And she left her cell phone. No child is going to run away without their cell phone. The only reason they're leaving a cell phone is because somebody gave them a directive. Like, leave your cell phone. I don't need you bringing the cops to my front door. I plan to kill you later. So early on, they believed that she was lured from somebody online. And now they believe that she's with an adult. She's found dead in a car burning. This is 100% a murder. This is an online predator who targeted, lured her out, and while committing a very sophisticated crime, killed her and hid all the evidence. I'm assuming that the car was stolen. That's why he used it and burned it. And it may even be just the dump site. He could have killed her in a hotel, killed her at a home, put her in the vehicle, drove to that location, and then dragged her body out and just threw it out like trash. Because anybody that's going to stalk a child online, lure them out of their home, they're already fucking nuts. There's no soul there. 100% demon shell. They don't care about anything. And the date, right around February 13th. That's like, is that a specific date for online predators? I mean, what's going on with February 13th? Charles says Discord servers are a plague. No, they are. I'm not part of any other Discord, and I don't recommend going to any other Discord. I created the Discord specifically so that my members have a safe place. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for Coffee Talk number 11. You guys were great. Thank you, Curious Contrarian, for the super chat. Says, smash the like. What up, Sleuth Crew? Always supporting the channel. Thank you for that, Dan. Cheeks. She's got both arms up, flexing both biceps. I appreciate that. Cindy, longtime supporter of the channel. I appreciate you. And Ziggy flexing it. You guys rock. Fishy. I love Discord. I've seen a lot of drama go down in some Discords. A lot of arguments, a lot of personal attacks. None of that shit happens in my Discord. Thanks, Charles. Yeah, you guys were wonderful. I think we may have figured out what was going on with the Gene Hackman. I think you guys had some great theories. I think our theory was spot on. I think it was his wife that had the medical emergency. Thank you, Ziggy. Appreciate that, Renegade. Good to see you in the chat. Good. Yeah, I have people inviting me to their Discords all the time. I'm like, nope, I don't do Discord. What are you talking about? You have a Discord. No, my members have a Discord. I appreciate that, Mustang. And if you want to join the Discord and you are a member, all you have to do is shoot me an email. Tell me who you are. Like, hey, I'm Mustang65. You know, I'll vet you, and then I'll give you the link. Thank you, Sparky. Thank all my moderators, especially you, the hardest working ones of all, like you, Sparky. I don't want you guys to feel obligated or feel like you have to work as hard as Sparky. I think that just comes natural to her. Yep, CJK's up in there. And if you need to get a hold of me for whatever reason, there you go, sleuthintuition@gmail.com. And that's going to do it, guys. If you could, hit the like button on the way out. Go share the video on your social media platforms or wherever. And I'll see you again. We got a few more lives planned today, so you guys stay chill, and I'll see you soon.